What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kenny Okoye, and we're back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about every single UFC champion stylistic nightmare. So these are fighters who are essentially the kryptonite. If they go against these fighters, stylistically, I just wouldn't see a path to victory for the champions necessarily, unless they just outwill them, outdog them. But yeah, I'm going to go through every men's division's champion. I'm going to look at their style of fighting, and I'm going to tell you a fighter that's just going to be a nightmare for them to deal with. Starting off with Pantoja. Pantoja, great champion. I love Pantoja. He's very complete. His biggest thing I've noticed with Pantoja, like later in the rounds when he gets fatigued, he always resorts to wrestling, whether it's to lay on someone just to get more time to breathe. But like as the fight goes along, he gets a little bit more weak on the feet. I feel like his striking starts to lack. And then he starts to just wrestle to survive. A stylistic nightmare for someone like this, I would say, is Kai Kara-France. I know this might be a surprise to some people. How Kai Kara-France? He's running a 2-fight losing streak. Yeah, Kai Kara-France's fight with Moreno showed me something. His striking is great. The fact that he was out striking Moreno looked way better than Moreno before that body kick finish. It was alarming to me. I think Kai Kara-France is very slept on. As well as his robbery loss against Al-Bazi. Like most people thought Kai Kara-France won that fight. But he showed some great wrestling defense in that fight. His wrestling is so slept on. So someone like Pantoja, who in the later rounds are going to just try to go in there and hug Kai Kara-France and just lean on him and try to take some time and just breathe, it's not going to work against Kai Kara-France because he's such a defensively sound wrestler. So he's not going to just be able to go in there and take down Kai Kara. So I think he's going to struggle with that. Kai Kara-France is very impressive on the feet too, because we've seen how he was piecing up Moreno prior to that finish. And like we saw how he finished Cody Garbrandt, who's also another stupendous striker. So yeah, bro, Kai Kara-France is like a stylistic nightmare for Pantoja. I don't know if or when Kai Kara will ever get that fight anytime soon. But honestly, once he gets that fight, if Pantoja is still champion, I do see Kai Kara-France being a nightmare for Pantoja to deal with. And I'm thinking of an and new situation. All right, bro, now let's talk about bantamweights. We got Suga Sean O'Malley. Suga Sean O'Malley, very impressive striker. I like his striking style. I like all this. One thing I've noticed with Suga Sean O'Malley, especially looking at the Peter Yan fight, who took him down 7 times, controlled him for about 6-7 minutes. Peter Yan showed that, yes, Sean O'Malley is a great striker, but in the wrestling realm, there's a little bit to be desired. I don't think Peter Yan necessarily is a great wrestler. I don't. I think Peter Yan is wrestling. He has good trips, but there's so many other wrestlers in that division who will give Suga similar, if not way more problems. For example, Merab. People might be like, what, Merab? But Merab's so chinny. One thing this is a big misconception I noticed. Merab is chinny. Merab gets knocked out a lot. Merab gets hit sometimes. Yes, he gets rocked sometimes. But his ability to recover is unlike any other fighter in UFC history. Like, he'll get rocked by some of these good strikers, but he's always going to recover it. Like, he recovered well against Cejudo. He recovered well against all these other hard power punches. So, like, you might hit Merab. Suga might land a shot on Merab. Suga might, like, shake him a little bit. I don't think Suga has that power to put him away. Suga Sean doesn't really have one-punch knockout power. The only one-punch knockout he had was Eddie Wineland and some other randoms in, like, the Contender Series and all that. But, like, if you actually look at Suga Sean, he didn't one-shot Aljo. He hit Aljo, finished him on the ground, and I don't think Aljo's recovery is anywhere near the realm as good as Merab. That being said, Merab also has that pace in wrestling and endurance. Pace, wrestling, endurance. I feel like when Suga's forced to defend takedowns from literally round 1 to round 5, it's going to weigh on him, and then that's going to take away the power in his shots, and then his striking is going to be nullified. So I feel like even if he defends every takedown, we saw Jose Aldo defend every takedown against Merab, but he still didn't win the fight because the control time, the clinch work, the clinch strikes by Merab. So Merab doesn't even have to take you down to win. He's just going to outwill you and outwork you, which is why I feel like he's going to be a nightmare for someone to deal with like Suga Sean O'Malley. All right, at featherweight, we got Ilia Topuria. I'll be real. I'll be so honest. Ilia Topuria, like, I think he's very close to unbeatable currently at that division. But the only person who even has a chance at beating Ilia Topuria, and it's a stylistic nightmare, is Max Holloway. When I say Max Holloway, I'm talking about Ilia has really good boxing, but the most skilled boxer he probably went against was Volkanovski. In that Volkanovski fight, all Volk was really doing was throwing a low kick and like just backing up in one linear line. So it's pretty easier for Ilia to track him down and just knock him out. But that being said, I actually would argue that Max Holloway has a way better chin than someone like Volkanovski. So Max Holloway can take some licks. In addition to that, Max Holloway has good boxing. Ilia has never won against a crisp boxer. The best boxer I guess you could say Ilia went against is probably Josh Emmett, who's just known for being a power puncher with the overhand, I feel like, compared to someone like Volk. Volk could have showed off more boxing, but I feel like he was a little bit hesitant to engage in the boxing against Ilia, but I feel like Max wouldn't be because Max trusts his chin and he trusts his boxing skill. So I feel like Max will give it an interesting fight on the feet. It's going to be the first time Ilia goes against an actual skilled boxer who wants to box with him. Guy has a good chin too. So Ilia isn't heavy on the output. That's another thing. Max Holloway is a lot more heavy on the volume he throws. So even if Ilya's landing more power shots. Max Holloway's volume might be a problem, and the endurance of Max Holloway, who's been 5 rounds a lot of times, could weigh in as a favor for him as well. So yeah, I feel like overall, Max Holloway's going to be a problem for Ilya to deal with. Do I necessarily think he's going to win? I actually don't know for sure. This fight's kind of 50-50, I'll be real. But definitely, as far as styles goes, this is the worst style for Ilya Topuria to fight at featherweight. All right, lightweight, we got Islam Makhachev. You guys know this. With Islam Makhachev in lightweight, bro, you guys already know my opinion. I don't think anyone can beat Islam Makhachev. Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, I look at Islam Makhachev's fight style. He's so well-rounded every year. He can strike with the best, submit the best, wrestle the best. But honestly, the hardest stylistic mismatch, this might be a surprise to people, is Justin Gaethje. Like, the more I think about it, Islam Makhachev's kind of heavy on his front foot, and Justin Gaethje has a low kick that'd be a problem for him. I really think that low kick would be a problem for Islam. So I feel like that heavy low kick style would result in Islam struggling, as well as the fact that Justin Gaethje is a pretty sound defensive wrestler. It doesn't get harder stylistically for someone like Islam. I'm not saying Justin Gaethje has the skills to beat him, because the skill gap is a little bit too significant, but as far as styles goes, it would be the hardest thing for Islam to beat a style like Justin Gaethje. He's going to have to wrestle a lot more, and if he can't take Gaethje down and gets that front leg chewed up, it's going to be kind of hard to deal with. So as far as styles goes, I'll say Justin Gaethje is probably the stylistic nightmare for Islam at 155, but then again, no one even comes close. Like, Justin Gaethje still loses, but as far as styles goes, if I was Islam, I would not want to fight Justin Gaethje. All right, for the welterweight weight class, we got Leon Edwards, of course. The stylistic nightmare for Leon is pretty obvious. Like, everyone knows that stylistically, Leon's going to struggle with people who have endurance and wrestling, and who could just outwork them. There's no one who could do that better currently than Belal Muhammad. I know people want to say whatever they want about Belal. I don't like Belal, though. I think he's boring, blah, blah, blah. Belal's endurance is probably the best at welterweight. Like, his endurance is crazy. Like, he never fatigues. He has the ability to constantly wrestle you from start to finish, and that's going to weigh in on someone like Leon. Usman did it really good the first 2 fights against Leon. The third fight, he was a little bit hesitant because he got knocked out, but Belal's not going to have that hesitance because Leon does not really have that knockout power. He has 1 knockout in the last, like, 7 years, 2 knockouts in his entire UFC career. Like, bro, Belal's not going to be worried about no power coming from Leon. Belal has already took Leon's best shots in their first fight while it lasted before the eye poke. Like, Belal's going to go in there. He's going to outwork Leon. Leon might get the first round. He always wins first rounds. But that was 3, 4, and 5 rounds. That's when Leon's going to fade. Like, Belal's endurance and Belal's pace in wrestling is going to weigh in on Leon to a point where he's not going to be able to reciprocate. And I feel like he's going to get outworked. There's no one who does that better than Belal. So I feel like stylistically, Belal should win this fight. Belal is going to win this fight. And I'm very confident in Belal in that matter. All right, man. So we got middleweight now. And we got Dricus du Plessis as champion. Dricus du Plessis is very, very heavy on the front leg. Very, very one-dimensional blitz. The perfect person to destroy this guy in a stylistic nightmare is Israel Adesanya. Bro, being that heavy on your front foot, ask Paulo Costa how that goes. Izzy's going to true up his front leg. Sean Strickland had a war with DDP because he doesn't know what a low leg kick is. He only knows what teep kicks is. Izzy has a good low kick. He's going to low kick DDP. And DDP does that same blitz where he'll just blitz with a 1 and then overhand 2. You know who had a one-dimensional blitz against Izzy? Robert Whittaker in the first fight. You know what happened in that first fight? He got counterpunched into oblivion because he was kept coming in with the same attacks. If DDP is going to do that same blitz against Izzy while getting his leg chewed up, he's going to run into a counterpunch by Izzy and he's going to fall and probably get knocked out. So yeah, I feel like stylistically, it doesn't get worse for Dricus, Israel Adesanya. Like, Israel Adesanya is going to pick his leg apart. He's going to do that one-dimensional blitz. He's going to get counted into oblivion. He's probably going to shoot panic at the Derek Brunson treatment, knee up the middle. I just see Izzy beating him comfortably. Yeah, I feel bad for DDP for even having this fight next. Like, this is going to be a tough one for DDP. That boy going to get whooped. All right, for light heavyweight, who's the stylistic mismatch for someone like Alex Pereira? There's an obvious answer here. Magomed Ankalaev. I feel like he's one of those people with crazy power in his hands. He probably has the most underrated power at light heavyweight. People don't understand he has one punch power. He can poke guys away quickly. He has that power, and he has that wrestling. Like, bro, he actually has wrestling. Like, Alex Pereira gets taken down by Izzy, Yuri. Anyone who's attempted a takedown on Alex Pereira has scored. If Ankalaev attempts one, he'll for sure score. The only difference is I feel like Ankalaev will be the best grappler he's ever won against. Literally. The best grappler before that was Jan Blachowicz, and we saw what Ankalaev and Blachowicz in the grappling realm. We saw Ankalaev outworking Jan in that realm. So he'll definitely outwork Alex Pereira too. He's going to mix up the striking. It's just going to be a hard matchup for Alex Pereira. I feel like Alex Pereira's striking is very top tier, but as far as mixing it up, Ankalaev is levels ahead of him there. So I feel like stylistically, I would definitely favor Ankalaev in a matchup over someone like Alex Pereira. Last but not least, we got Jonathan Jones. John's Bones Jones. For John Jones, people might be thinking, I think it's Aspinall. I agree. Aspinall is a stylistic nightmare for Jones. But I think the biggest stylistic nightmare for Jones is Jolton Almeida. You got to realize, chat, Jones at heavyweight, his best plan all the time is going to be to take down these bigger guys and just outwork them on the ground because they lack ground game. Someone like Jailton Almeida is ground game. He literally is what ground game is. And he has the power to finish people on the feet. He's shown heavy hands on the feet too. Jon Jones is not going to just go there against Almeida and just take him down and submit him like he did to Gane. I feel like Almeida is a stylistic mismatch for Jon Jones, because if anyone's going to take anyone down, I think Almeida's going to take down Jones. Like, we haven't really seen Jones go against someone as his size, his height, even bigger, who has good wrestling. We never seen that. The closest we seen was DC, and DC was able to pick him up and slam him, but DC wasn't able to hold him. Longer limbs, all that, it makes it harder. And Jones is a good wrestler, but I really think that Jailton Almeida is the missing puzzle piece to solving Jon Jones. At heavyweight, I really favor Jailton Almeida. This sounds crazy, I know it might be a hot take, but I really feel like Jailton Almeida gives Jon Jones a hard run for his money. Y'all ain't gonna see the vision now, but trust me, when Jailton Almeida keeps running through these heavyweights using that heavy wrestling grappling style, y'all gonna start to believe me. So yeah, Jailton Almeida, Jon Jones stylistic nightmare. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for me. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think down below. Did I get these ones right, or do y'all have a different opinion on some of these? I wanna know what y'all think. Love y'all, bro. God bless y'all. I'll see you in the next video.